quick demo on Oracle provisioning. So let's look at the source database first. So this Oracle master here is our source database. And if you look at the configuration, the actual SID is called Aura Source 1, Aura SRC1. So let's jump into the terminal and let's log into the Oracle source server. We want to also SU to Delphix first. Let's look at the Oracle SID. So it's already pointing to Aura SRC1. So let's get into SQL Plus. And we're going to do select name and open mode. So Aura Source 1 is in read-write mode, and just going to copy a command here very quickly. We are also going to look at the size of the database in megabytes, as well as the total number of tables. Total number of tables, and that's 2,186. So this is the source size site, yeah. So we're going to begin the provisioning, but before that, I'm just going to quickly log into the target site as well. So we are now in the target server, as you can see here, and SU to Delphix first. And so what I'm going to run on this side is basically a simple watch command. So basically what watch will do is that it will run the list of command after it every 2 seconds. So let me just kick this off. So basically it will run df minus h grab al, and it will also run ps minus ef grab pmon grab al. I'm looking for database that contain the name al, and it will run this every 2 seconds. So as you can see now, there is no mount point with the name al in it, and there is no database with the name al in it, so nothing is shown here. So what I'm going to do now is take the Oracle master database, going back to the time flow, take the latest snapshot from there and provision it to the target Oracle server. All these are default and they are correct. To the dev environment, that's where we want to mount it to. And the mount point, I'm just going to leave it as default. You can change it to something more intelligible if you need to. And I'm going to use al Aura. So the al word is important there because my script is is grabbing for that. Just going to change this to Aura as well. I'm going to use the same name throughout. Okay, so now if you have to change the virtual DB parameter so that it will stand up nicely in the target environment. So you need to check this box so that an additional step is provided for you to change those parameters. So it's going to leave everything to default, and this is what I mean here by changing the parameters. So some of the parameters are already set here, and if you want to, you can always click plus to add more, or you can view it from the text point of view and you can edit directly from the text window. So again, this is to make sure that you set the parameter of the virtual DB correctly so that it will stand up nicely in the target server. So we're going to go next, and we're going to begin and quickly look at our here. So the first thing Delphix will do is that we will mount a mount point, as you can see it's coming up here now, to the target server, and this mount point contain all the necessary files required to bring up a new database, which you can already see here, and this will take a couple more minutes. The database will appear and reappear because every time we change the Oracle parameters, we will have to shut down and bring it up again to affect those changes. So you're going to see this Aura coming up and down several times before it finally finish and goes online and ready for use. So you can see Alora here already up and running. So let's export local SID goes to Alora, SQL Plus. We'll do the same thing over here. Select name, open mode, database. So you can see Alora is in read-write mode. And the table count. So as you can see, when comparing with the source, everything is exactly the same except for the SID, because it's exactly the same database. And in fact, we will also go look at the DB viewer. So I'm already connected to Oracle Prod, as you can see. What I selected is just the employee table. So so this is the employee table. Now let's connect to Alora as well. So I'm just going to copy this connection and modify it. Paste. I'm just going to modify this, rename it first to Alora. Okay. And then edit the connection. So basically we just need to change the SID to Alora. And I think that should be it. Yeah, okay. That's good. So now we have Alora. Let's also open up the employee table just to show you that they are indeed the same. So Alora, employee table, production, employee table. So they are exactly the same. All right. So that concludes my demo. Now actually, on the explanation about how Delphix can provision a database so quickly, and what about the zero footprint on the target host side. So basically, when Delphix provision the virtual DB to the target host, we don't really move the files, the Oracle files, over the network to the target server, but what we do is we mount a volume containing the Oracle files into the target server. So in this case, as you can see here, so this mount point contains the Oracle files necessary to bring up the Alora database. So as you can see, whether the database is 2 GB or 2 TB, and the mount time is the same. The volume may be bigger, but the time that it takes to mount the volume is the same. So that explains why it is so fast regardless of the size, and that zero footprint on the target side.